Really apologize for being so late. Okay, let's get started. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your association. Om Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपहातं हम वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। My humble obeisances to each and every one of you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, all the assembled Vaishnavas की जय. So we are in the last chapter of this module, that is second module and also the last chapter of the first canto, that is chapter number 19. And in this chapter is the most auspicious appearance of Srila Sukadev Goswami will be discussed. So we saw that how our Parikshit Maharaj got the news that how he will die in 7 days by the curse of that Brahmana boy, the son of Shamik Rishi, the Shringi. And Shamik Rishi also was not happy when he came to know that his son has cursed the king. And but nothing can be done. So he sent this message to Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was also lamenting in his kingdom that the act that he has done is not good and he was waiting some calamity to come up. That is the mood of a devotee. The devotee knows in his heart that the devotee has done something wrong. So naturally, the devotee waits for some repercussions to happen because that will not carry forward their karmas. So Parikshit Maharaj was waiting, and then finally, when he got the news, he was fully convinced he has the power to counteract that curse, but he didn't. Neither he went to the sage to ask for forgiveness because he doesn't want to embarrass Shamik Rishi further. And secondly, he knows that if nothing can be done for this curse, then why unnecessarily go and disturb him and embarrass him further? So he accepted it as the will of the providence and finally sat on the banks of river Ganga. When he sat there, a lot of great sages, the thinkers, they arrived, and Maharaj Parikshit welcomed them. Though he has already renounced everything, he has renounced his kingdom, he has renounced his family, he has renounced being as a king, but still he submits himself to the assembled sages and he very nicely welcomed them. He appreciated their being coming in that assembly. And then he further had a desire to hear from them. First, he confirmed about his own thing because he made that decision to fast until death. But he doesn't want to do it on his own whimsical thoughts. So he first of all presented his decision and they all praised him. They said, "Of course, that's so good, you should do it, you should do it." And then he asked some questions. He appreciated them and he took, after taking the approval from the sages, he appreciated the sages. So I think so we are on that section. I don't want to go ahead unnecessary. So let me share my screen. Uh, we are in this chapter 19, I think so, 21. Oh, what I've shared. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so yes, 21. So let's see how he further praises the sages and then he will ask his questions. So when the sages agreed and gave him the go that yes, you can, uh, they said that, "O chief of the saintly kings of the Pandu dynasty, you are strictly in the line of Lord Krishna, and it is not at all astonishing that you have given up your throne, which is decorated with the helmets of many kings, to achieve eternal association with the personality of Godhead." So now, in this 21 words, the decision of the sages will be given. And they said, "Sarve vayam tavad ihasametha kalevaram yavadasau vihaya lokam param virijaksham vishokam yasyati ayam bhagavata pradhana." So they say that, "Oh, Parikshit Maharaj," and they call him as Bhagavat Pradhana. They call him as the foremost devotee of Lord Shri Krishna. They said that, "O Parikshit Maharaj, the who you are the Bhagavat Pradhana, you are in the foremost line of the, like Krishna has many devotees, you are the foremost devotees in the line of Krishna devotees. O Bhagavat Pradhana, Sarve Vayam Tavad, we all have, all of us, Sarve Vayam means we all have assembled together here. Tavad, and we will stay here as ihasame, we shall stay here as long as, till when? Kalevaram yavad asu vihaya, till the time you don't give up, O king, till the time you don't give up this body, we are going to stay here on the banks of river Ganga along with you. And we know that you will be attaining some higher planet. Okay, you will be attaining param loka. So we will wait here till the time you don't leave this body and go to param loka. So even the destination was decided by the sages. So they said that we will wait here till the time you don't leave this body and attain Loka Param. You will attain Param Loka, which is Virajasakam, which is free from any mundane contamination, and Vishokam, which is completely free from all kinds of lamentation. So that Paramloka, which is Virajasakam, and which is also Vishokam, which is free from all material contamination and all kinds of lamentation. Yasyati aham bhagavat pradanna. And we know that you will attain this Paramloka because you are Bhagavat Pradhana. So they say that You are the Pradhan, you are the foremost of all the devotees of Krishna. So till the time you don't leave this body and attain that Param Loka, which is free of all kind of material contamination and all kind of material lamentation, we will stay here. We will be with you on the banks of river Ganga. Somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hmm.
We shall we shall all wait here until the foremost devotee of the Lord, Maharaja Parikshit, returns to the supreme planet, which is completely free from all mundane contaminations and all kinds of lamentations.
Mm, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So now they are praying like this. They are giving their own decision to Parikshit Maharaj because Parikshit Maharaj praised them and they said, we are also giving our decision, that our decision will be that we will wait here. Prabhupada writes in the purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Beyond the limitation of the material creation, which is compared to the cloud in the sky, there is Paravyoma, or the spiritual sky, which is full of many Vaikuntha planets. These Vaikuntha planets are like Purushottam Loka, Achyuta Loka, Trivikrama Loka, Rishikesha Loka, Keshava Loka, Niruddha Loka, Madhava Loka, Pradyumna Loka, Sankarshana Loka, Sridhar Loka, Vasudev Loka, Ayodhya Loka, Dwarka Loka. I read all these because reading itself is so auspicious. But definitely, and many other millions of spiritual lokas, spiritual planets are there in the Vaikuntha planet. And there, who predominates? The Supreme Personality of Godhead predominates. And all the living entities there are the liberated souls with spiritual body as good as that of the Lord. They all are four-handed form. There is no material contamination. There is no Vishokam. There is no Virajasakam. Everything there is spiritual, and therefore there is nothing objectively lamentable. They are full of transcendental bliss and they are without janma mrityu jara vyadi. That is birth, death, old age, and disease. And amongst all the above mentioned Vaikuntha lokas, there is one supreme loka called Golok Vrindavan. And the sages are saying you will achieve that loka, Param loka. Not you will not land up in some Vaikuntha planet. But there is one another loka called Golok Vrindavan, which is the abode of Lord Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit was destined to achieve that particular loka. And the great rishis assembled there could foresee this. And all of them consulted among themselves about the great departure of the great king, and they wanted to see up to the last moment because they would not be able, they would no more be able to see such a great devotee of the Lord. That is why in our Sampradaya also we celebrate disappearance days of our Acharya more glorious than their appearance day. Their disappearance day is why it is glorious. Yes, to the mundane sights, to the mundane eyes, they will not be seen. We cannot hear them. We cannot see them personally. But we are so happy that they have achieved the desired goal. They have entered into the kingdom of God. So they are destined. But the sorry plight is that the devotees, they leave our sight. And therefore, there is every reason to be sorry for them for not being with us. But actually, it is very, very glorious. As the Lord is rarely to be seen by our present eyes, so also the great devotees. And the great rishis therefore correctly decided to remain on the spot till the last moment. It's a great fortune to see some Mahabhagavat passing away. Because when Mahabhagavat passes away from this world, there is lot of auspiciousness that is present there. Because Mahabhagavat doesn't go all by himself. There is a plane, there is a Vaikuntha plane that comes to carry that Mahabhagavat. And Mahabhagavat very gracefully rides on that plane and goes. And all the Vishnu Dutas comes, all the demigods, they shower their blessings. So when we are present in that assembly where Mahabhagavat leaves the body, wow, it's a great, great, great opportunity and it's a great blessing. It's a very, very auspicious moment. We feel sorry, as Prabhupada is saying, that because the great devotee is leaving our sight, there is every reason to be sorry. But at the same time, it is very, very auspicious. It is not auspicious when any materialistic person leaves, because Yamadutas are there and they carry and they drag the soul, and the soul also doesn't want to leave the body because soul is so attached to the body. Soul also doesn't want to leave the body. So there is a big tug of war, and it's a very sorry scene to be in the presence of some mundane person leaving the body. But when a devotee leaves, it is always good. And imagine when Mahabhagavat leaves, well, it's a great, great, great fortune to be in that assembly. So therefore, all these sages also, they say that you are Bhagavat Pradhana. Pradhan means the topmost of the Krishna's devotees. So we will stay here till the time you don't return to that Paramloka, which is free from all kinds of lamentation and contamination, and we will stay here with you. Text 22. Now the qualities of the sage's speech is being discussed. That how whatever they said, how true it is, and how um, pleasing it is. Ashrita tadrishi gana vacha parikshit samam. Okay, I'm just reading the right meter. आश्रित्य तदृषि गणवचा परीक्षेत् समं मधुच्युत गुरुचा विलक्कम् आभासितनान् अभिनन्दयुक्तान् शुश्रूषमानश्चरितानि विष्णु. So now Parikshit Maharaj, when all these sages said Ashrutya Tad Rishi Gana, after hearing from all the rishis, all the sages that have assembled, our Parikshit Maharaj, he said, I'm so happy to be in your assembly. Your words are so impartial, they are samam, means you don't doesn't sound that you are being partial while saying all this, that how I am Bhagavad Pradhana and how I will attain Paramloka. It looks like you are very, very impartial, and your words are like madhuchyut, means they are dip in honey. Your words are like dip in honey, very, very sweet to hear. And cha means and, vyalikam means that they are very, very true. Vyalikam actually means not true, but avyalikam means perfectly true. Abhasatinam, Prabhupada is writing that abhasata. So therefore, all of them, whatever they said was true as well as was sweet, and it sounds very, very impartial. So Marikshit Maharaj Abhinandaya Yuktan, he congratulated them. And he Shushrumanas Charitani Vishnu, and he desired to hear more about the activities of Lord Vishnu, about the activities of the personality of Godhead. So this was the condition of Parikshit Maharaj. So this is Sutta Goswami is now saying all this, that how the position of Parikshit Maharaj was that he wants to hear more. Shushrumanas Charitani Vishnu. He wants to have that desire to hear about more about Krishna's activities. Somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj. All that was spoken by the great sages was very sweet to hear, full of meaning and appropriately presented as perfectly true. So after hearing them, Maharaj Parikshit, desiring to hear of the activities of Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, congratulated the great sages. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Gauranga Prabhu. So the words of the sages were impartial, were flowing with nectar. It was very, very sweet to hear, dipped in honey, was very profound in meaning, and they are very true. And therefore, Parikshit Maharaj developed this desire to hear more. Now, why the words um, were flowing with honey when they praised him as the best of the devotees? The words were profound. The words were flowing with honey when they praised him as a best of devotee. Now you can say that, well, Parikshit Maharaj was happy to hear his praise, to be known as Bhagavad Pradhana. So was Parikshit Maharaj puffed up? So actually not. Yes, he was Pradhan, and when the sages praise, he also felt happy because that is the mood of a devotee. The devotee always gets proud of having that true ego that I am Krishna's devotees, right? When we, though we are so contaminated, right? At least I'll talk about my own self. So much material contamination have, so much lamentation, hankering we have. But when we wore a tilak and we wore a kantimala and we walk outside and somebody just by seeing, because it happens with me so many times, just by seeing tilak and just by seeing kantimala, they will wish Krishna, Hare Krishna or Radhe Radhe. They will not say namaste or they will not say um, hi, hello, nothing like that. And some people will even ask, what is this? What are you wearing? Especially in US, it happens. You go to some mall or some store and they will ask, what is this? What kind of impression is this? How you will apply this? Like they praise, they say, oh, you are Krishna devotees, you are Hare Krishnas. And that gives so much of joy in the heart. Not that we get puffed up that I'm a devotee of Krishna, but we feel that, oh, they are calling and they're saying the word Hare Krishna. So we feel so happy in the heart. Now, we who are not yet developed that right sambandha with Krishna, just being a very Kanishta level devotee, we feel happy when somebody praises this and say, oh, you're a devotee of Hare Krishnas, you belong to Hare Krishnas, and they wish us as Hare Krishna. We feel so happy in our heart. Now here, the sages to a Uttam Adhikari, to a Mahabhagavad devotee like Parikshit Maharaj, they are calling him as Bhagavad Pradhana. So definitely their words are dipped in honey. Their words are flowing with honey as they praised him. So in this way, Parikshit Maharaj took it and he was very happy. The words were profound because they mention that you will go to Paramloka. And yes, the sages, through their Shastra study, they know that Paramloka is Vaikuntha, or it is without any Kuntha, it is without any miseries. So, not saying the Lord's planet directly, the words were profound and true because they said that you will go to that planet which is free of all kind of material contamination and all kind of material lamentation. So definitely the words were also true. So this way, Parikshit Maharaj was very happy and he desired to hear further from the sages. Text 23. Then the king said, Parikshit Maharaj said, Samagata sarvata eva sarve Veda yatha murti dharastri prishthe Nehatha namutra chakachan Kaschanartha Rite paranu so now Parikshit Maharaj, he is now praising all the sages and he says, Samagata sarvata eva sarve. Oh dear sages, you all have come from all kinds of different directions. Sarvata eva sarve. Samagata, and you have assembled here, you have come here. And you are all not ordinary sages. Veda yatha murti. You are the personification of the knowledge of the Vedas because you are not ordinary sages. You are great sages who have studied the Vedas so properly. So you are the personification of Vedas. And you have come from Dharastri Prishthe, and you do all don't belong to this world. You belong to Triprishta. You belong to the planet of Brahma, that is to Satyaloka, which is above the three planetary system, that is lower, middle, and upper planetary system. So you belong to that planetary system. You have come directly from Satyaloka and you do not belong to this world. Nihatha namutra na kaschanartha. You don't belong to this world or any other world for that matter. And kaschanartha, and you have no other artha also. You have no other interest also to come here on this earthly planet for a person like me. to be situated on the banks of river Ganga and waiting for me to leave this body. So, in utter humility, now Parikshit Maharaj is saying that I don't have any eligibility whatsoever, that you all great sages, you all have decided to come together as an assembly. You all have come and assembled here, and now you have made this decision to wait until the time I leave this body. So it's a great fortune for me because you all are not ordinary sages. You have come directly from Satyaloka and you have no other business to come. You don't have no other interest to come. Then why they assembled? Rite paranu grhamatma. Yes, you don't have any other interest to come except Rite. Paranugraham, because you want to give your anugraha, your mercy to others. So that is the only reason that you have come. Paranugraham. Your reason for coming here is to give mercy, is to do good to others, to do the highest welfare activities for others. And for this reason, you have come. You don't have any other further interest, neither further mood to come. But then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that, okay, so Parikshit Maharaj is saying that you all have assembled here, you are Veda personified, and you have come here naturally to do good to others, and you have no goal except to give mercy. Isn't it that a goal? To give mercy is also a goal. Isn't it that a goal also that you have come here? Then Parikshit Maharaj uses the word Atmashilam, that no, even that is not your goal, to give mercy to others, because that is your nature, that is your inherent nature, that you have come here. You have not come here to give mercy. Yes, you have come to give mercy, but that is not your goal. Your goal is not to give mercy, but your goal is to your that is your nature, that is your inherent nature, and that's why you have come here. So in this regard also, Sri Tulsidas ji says in his Ramayana, he says, Sant hriday navneet samana, kaha kabahi pari kahi na jana. Yes, many poets in the past, many saints in the past have said that Sant hriday navneet samana, that the heart of a devotee is like a butter. But Tulsidas ji says, I don't agree to this. Tab kabahi parahi na jana. They have actually not understood those who say that the heart of a devotee is like a butter. It is not. Because nij pratap dravahi navanita, paraduk dravahi sant sumita. That butter, how the butter melts? The butter melts when you put the butter in fire. Then the butter melts. But he's saying, निज प्रताप द्रवही नवनीता. अपने प्रताप से नव बटर नहीं पिघलता. Means its own way, if butter wants to melt, the butter won't melt. Butter has to put in some provoking situation for the butter to melt. Right? So heart of a devotee is not like that. Because the heart of a devotee melts by seeing the sufferings of others. It's not that they should put into some kind of provoking situation, only then their heart melts. No. Paradukha dravahi santa supnita. Just by seeing the heart of others, just by seeing others suffering, the hearts of the devotee melts. So the poets say that the heart of a saint is like a butter, but they didn't even realize the real truth. The real truth is that butter melts only when it gets heated up, when it is put into some provoking situation. But the heart of a devotee melts simply by seeing the pains of others. So that's what he's saying, that you don't have a goal. That is not your goal, to give anugraha to others, because that is your inherent nature. Your nature is such that you cannot control. And when you saw that I am suffering and Not suffering exactly, but apparently now is the time when I have to leave the body. You all were so kind enough that you all assembled here. Somebody can read the translation.
I can read Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
My
Yeah.
pranam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king said, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here, having come from parts of the universe. You are all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyaloka. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others, and but for this you have no interest, either in this life or in the next. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So now Parikshit Maharaj is praising. So it's 3 points he praised. He said, you have been very kind to assembled here. You are as good as the Vedas personified, and you are naturally inclined to do good to others. That is not your goal, but that is your inherent nature. Prabhupada writes in the purport, 6 kinds of opulences, namely wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, they are all originally the different attributes pertaining to the absolute personality of Godhead. The living beings who are part and parcel entities of the supreme beings have all these attributes partially. So Prabhupada is saying that how Krishna is full, therefore he is known as Bhagavan. So this is the definition of Bhagavan, who possess all these qualities in full. Who gave this definition? Anybody knows? Who gave this?
Parashar.
Ah,
Parashar Muni.
Parashar Muni gave this definition of Bhagavan. Bhagavan, Bhag means all the opulence, and Van means one who possess. And what are the 6 kinds of opulences? Wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Krishna possesses in full, but we only have 78% of it, around 56. And that too, only Brahma has 78% in full, but we jivas do not. The covered strength of the sun is very dim compared to this original glare, and similarly, the original color of the living beings with such attributes becomes almost extinct. There are 3 planetary systems, then Prabhupada talks about Satyaloka, and then therefore, they are known as Vedas personified. They were practically desireless devotees. In the mundane world, they have nothing to achieve, and in the transcendental world, they are full in themselves. So therefore, they are desireless devotees because in mundane worlds they have nothing to gain, and in the transcendental world they are Atmaramas. Then why do they have come to this material world? What is the reason? They descend to different planets as Masihas of the Lord because they come by the order of the Supreme Lord, and they come here for some specific purpose to deliver the fallen souls. That is the only reason they come on this earth planet. On the earth, they come down to do good to the people of the world in different circumstances and under different climatic influences. They have nothing to do in this world save and accept Rite Para Anugraham. Save and accept, reclaim the fallen souls rotting in material existence, deluded by material energy. Why Prabhupada has to come? Prabhupada was a Nitya Siddha Bhakta, very happy in Golok Vrindavan with Krishna. But Krishna has sent him as a Masiha, as a savior of the world, to come so that he can reclaim the fallen souls like all of us. And that's the reason that Prabhupada came. So they have nothing to do just to reclaim the fallen souls who are rotting in the material existence, deluded by material energy. Jadi Prabhupada na hoite, tabi ki hoite, jivan bahita keshe. If Prabhupada would have not been here, we would have not been sitting here in front of our laptops or our gadgets, phone whatsoever, and hearing Harikatha, studying Srimad Bhagavatam. We are here because of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada has guided us. So we should be very, very grateful to such acharyas. They are walking on earth, they are walking on this planet, not for their own personal agendas, but only and only to reclaim us, to save us, and introduce us to Lord Shri Krishna. That is the only agenda. And they have been personally sent by Krishna for all of us. Therefore, we say to find a guru, we need blessings and mercy of Krishna. And then, with the mercy of Guru, we know Krishna. So, to have Guru, we need mercy of Krishna. Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva. We are Bhagyavan souls. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Because only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna we got the seed of devotion. And now it's up to us how we nurture that seed of devotion. Do we let our plant dry or get dried up fully, or we want to nurture it properly in the association of devotees? That is why it is said creeper, lata. It is not a tree, it's a creeper. It needs some support to climb, and that support is the association of devotees. So now it's up to us what we have to do with the seed. The spiritual master has already sown that seed in the heart. Now we have to nurture it like a nice gardener. We have to nurture that seed. And that seed, which is growing into a nice sapling, we have to protect that seed. So that is the only motive that these great souls walk on this earth. And they are walking today also. It's not that the earth is bereft of these great souls. They are there. But it's up to us that we have to build up that connectivity with those sages. Like in the olden days, we have a radio, right? With the radio, we move the knobs and we try to match the frequency to hear some news or some songs, right? So that frequency has to be matched. So we also have to be the right candidate to accept the mercy of those devotees who are walking, who are the Masihas who have been sent by Krishna. And that frequency will only be matched when we will make our heart fertile enough so that they are ready to sow the seeds of devotion in our heart. They are walking with their hands full of seeds of devotion. It's up to us that we have to make our heart fertile land so that we can accept those seeds of devotion and we can nurture it properly. Yes, Praladananda Prabhu, you want to add something?
Mata.
And
The same sentiment was expressed by Nanda Maharaj when Gargacharya came to his house to do Namkaran. He says, Mahad Vichalanam Nuranam Gruhinam Dinachetasam Nihasresarai Bhagavan Kalpate Nadyat Kachit. They don't move for any other reason except to give mercy to those who are Dinachetasam. So I just thought, well, this was relevant sloka there.
Yes,
Thank you.
10th canto. Gargacharya came and Nand Maharaj praised him. Very nice. Thank you for correlating it to 10th canto. Text 24. ततश्च वा पृच्छमिमं विपृच्छे विश्रभ्य विप्रा इति कृत्ययातां सर्वात्मना म्रियमणैश्च कृत्यं शुद्धं च तत्रामृषत अभ्युक्तः. So now our Parikshit Maharaj is asking two questions. So in this verse, he is asking questions. Tatascha vah pricham imam vipriche. O great sages, now since you have assembled here, I want to ask. Pricha means I want to ask you something. I'm seeking, vipriche, in a very, very humble attitude. I beseech, I beg you to please answer my questions. I need to ask you all something. Vishrabhya, because you are all Vishrabhya Vipras. You are all trustworthy Brahmanas. And therefore, I want to ask two questions from you. So he didn't mention two, but he asked two questions. And it says, Krityamanam Sarvatmana. What there are different kinds of duties. So, what is the best duty for the people in general? There are many duties to be performed, right? Karma, yoga, jnana, ashtanga, there are many duties. But what is the best duty for all the living beings that they should perform? And also, I want to know what is the best among all those krityatam For Mriyamanes, for those who are about to die, I want to know that what is the best for them, those who are dying, what is the best duty for them, especially for those who are dying. You all are Shuddham, you all are trustworthy, and you all are so pure. So please, Tatra Amshata, therefore, deliberate on this question. Think properly and give me Abhyukta, give me a very befitting answer. So, two questions Parikshit Maharaj asked. First is that he asked that you have all, you great sages have assembled. Now, you all, please think deliberately that what is the best of all the processes, whether one should perform sacrifice, yoga, austerity, charity, etc. What one has to perform, what is the best uh, process or karma for a person in general, sarvatmana, in general, they should perform. And second, I want to ask, especially for those who are dying, what is their duty? Please tell me. Vishrabhya, because I have developed the faith in you. I'm asking you these two questions because I know I have developed faith in you. And therefore, I'm asking you all decide among yourselves and come to a common agreement and tell me the answer. So now somebody can read translation. Translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die.
Thank you, Mataji. So, two questions. Unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and especially for those who are about to die. So, in this verse, Prabhupada writes, King has placed two questions. The first question is, what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances? The second question is, what is the specific duty for one who will die very shortly? Prabhupada says, out of these two questions, the second one is more apt because everyone is a dying man, either very shortly or maybe after 100 years. The duration of life is immaterial, but the duty of a dying man is very important. We all are dying, every moment we are dying. So Maharaj Parikshit placed these two questions before Sukdev Goswami later also upon his arrival. But before that, he have asked this question to all the sages. And Prabhupada writes that actually the answer of these two questions is the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, right from the second canto up to the 12th canto. Only these two questions are answered by Srila Sukadev Goswami because they deal with these two questions. Okay. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of the fact when he wanted that all the great sages come here unanimously give their verdict on this conviction so that he may be able to go on and with his confirmed duty without any controversy. He was specially mentioned the word Shuddha, perfectly correct. For transcendental realization or self-realization, many processes are recommended by the various classes of philosophers. Some of them are first class methods, some are second class, or some are third class methods. The first class method demands that one should give up all other methods and surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord and thus be saved from all sins and reactions. Sarv dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raj aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shucha. This is the best process in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has already told. And Parikshit Maharaj was aware of this. But still, he wants all the sages who are present there should also come to this common agreement so that that can make strong his conviction that he has. That conviction will become strong if unanimously all the sages will agree with the same decision. So now the question is that yes, he asked these two questions, especially for those, but did the sage answer? No. The sages also didn't answer because they know that all these various processes like yoga, austerity, and charity, they are not the right way to follow, especially for a person who is dying. And they all had desired that now Shukadev Goswami should appear. And therefore, unanimously, without answering the question to Parikshit Maharaj, they were glancing on the path with their eyes broadly opened for Srila Sukadev Goswami to arrive on the scene and to answer these questions of Parikshit Maharaj in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So they didn't answer, but they were unanimously waiting together in full agreement. They were waiting for Sukadev Goswami to appear on the screen, on the scene. So text 25. Tatrabhavat Bhagavan Vyasaputro Yadrichagamatmanonapexha Alakshalingo Nijalabhatushto Vritascha Bale Ravadhuta Vesha. So as those sages were glancing on the path, there appeared someone who is Bhagavan Vyasaputra. So this Bhagavan can be used for both, either for Vyasadev and also for Srila Sukadev Goswami, because he is also a great personality. And he is Bhagavan and he is Vyasaputra. He is the son of Vyasadev. And how he appeared? Yadrichaya, on his own accord. Nobody called him, nobody invited him, nobody have sent any kind of message through any kind of WhatsApp or mobile or anything. But Yadrichaya, with his own accord, with his own desire, he came. Because he is traveling on earth. Gamatmano nipeksha. Because he normally travels. In the previous verses also we read that Sukdev Goswami, Sutta Goswami says that he stays in one house only till the time the cow is milked. Right? Only that time he stay at one place and then he moves on. So he is traveling on this earth. He is going from one place to another. Does he have any agenda? Then they say Atmano. He is very, very Atmaram. He doesn't have any agenda. And Napeksha, and he doesn't have any apeksha also from anybody. Means he doesn't desire anything from anybody and he's fully satisfied. He's Atmaram. Alaksha Lingo Nijalabha Tushto. And he developed a very wonderful symptoms. Alaksha Lingo Nijalabha Tushto. His symptoms are that he is self-satisfied and he is he is self-realized and he is very, very satisfied. That is they are saying. He did not manifest the the symptom of belonging to a social order. That's why they say alaksha lingo nijalabhatushta. He didn't manifest. Alaksha means unmanifest. So what he didn't manifest? He didn't manifest any symptom of belonging to some social custom or social order. Why? Because nijalab tushto. He is self-realized and he is satisfied. Vritascha baler, and he was also surrounded by all different kinds of children when he came. Avadhuta Vesha, because he was dressed up like Avadhut. Like an Avadhut, he was dressed. That means he was totally naked. But it's not the word that is used. It is said that he was wearing 10 directions. He was wearing 10 directions. He was in Avadhut Vesh and he appeared, and all the children were following him. And he was a very self realized personality, very, very satisfied. He doesn't have any interest whatsoever from others, and he came on his own accord. Yes, Tulsi Gopi Mataji, you have a question? You can read and then you can ask.
Mataji, just my daughter wanted to read.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth, interested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belongings to any social orders or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you. I really want to congratulate you that you have so much interest that you sit with your mom and study Srimad Bhagavatam and have this desire to read these wonderful verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very nice. Very inspiring. When I was at your age, I was busy playing around with my friends. Very nice. So, yes, he was surrounded with women and children. And when he came there, and he did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order because he was in Avadhut Vesh. The word Bhagavan sometimes is used in relation with some of the great devotees like Srila Sukadev Goswami. It's been used here, and also sometimes Bhagavan Narada, Bhagavan Vyasa. Such liberated souls are disinterested in the affairs of this material world. Why? Because they are Atmarama. They are self satisfied by the great achievements of devotional service. As explained before, Sukdev Goswami never accepted any formal spiritual master. Whatever learnings he did is whatever he know is because of his father. His father was his natural spiritual master. And because Sukdev Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam for him, he was self-satisfied. He didn't depend on any formal process, but now was the time for him to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. So, therefore, he came. As a young boy, he was expected to be properly dressed, but he went about naked and was disinterested in any social customs. He was neglected by the general populace, and inquisitive boys and women would always surround him as if he were a madman. He thus appears on the scene while traveling on the earth on his own accord. And it appears that upon the inquiry of Parikshit Maharaj, the great sages were not unanimous in their decision as to what to be done, what to answer. For spiritual salvation, there are many prescriptions according to the different modes of different persons. But the ultimate aim of life is the highest perfectional stage of devotional service of the Lord. As doctors differ, so the sages also differ. And therefore, what is that word? Tarko pratishta shruto vibhinna nasav rishir yasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya tatvam nihitam guhyayam mahajena yata gataso pantha. So we should always follow, we should always do anusaran of all the Mahajans. We should follow the footpath, the footsteps that they have set for all of us. Yes, the sages, as the doctors differ, the sages will also differ with their prescription. But the one prescription that fits in all is the devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which is the ultimate aim of life. Right? Sorry. So this way, now, finally, our Shukdev Goswami has appeared on the scene. Text 26. Now this is the beauty of Srila Sukadev Goswami, which is described in 26th and 27th verse. Tam dvashtavarsham sukumarapada karorubhavam shakapolagatram charavayakta koshna shatulya karna subhriv ananam kambu sujata kantham. So different limbs of Sukadev Goswami are now being described here. Tam dvashta, first of all, his age is described. Dvi ashta. Ashta means 8. Dvi means 2 times 8. So what was the age of Sukadev Goswami? He was 16 years old. Dvi ashta varsham. Your age is 2 into 8. That is 16 years. Sukumara pad. So now this is very important. Sukadev Goswami is a Mahabhagavat. And when we have to glorify a Mahabhagavat, just like Krishna, we should start from the foot, the lotus feet of Mahabhagavat. Even for Krishna, we don't go directly in the temple and we see the lotus face of Krishna, though it is very, very captivating. But consciously we don't look at the face directly. We look at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, then move on to his thighs, navels, his broad chest, his sleek abdomen, then broad chest, and then shoulders, then arms, then his neck, and then his lotus face. So here, he is also describing like that only, that how Sukadev Goswami was looking when he arrived in that assembly. So Sutta Goswami is saying, Tam Dushta Varsham. He was 16 years old, very, very youthful. Sukumara Pad, and his legs were very, very delicate. Kararu. Kara means his hands, and Uru means his thighs. Bahava means his arms. Amsha means his shoulders. So everything means his legs, his hands, his thighs, his arms, his shoulders, and kapola. Kapola means his forehead, and his body, gatram, the entire body, was very, very delicate. Sukumara, they were very, very delicate. Charav ayata. Ayata means ayatakshana, means his eyes were very, very broad. And charu means they were very, very beautiful. Unnanasa, and his nasa means his nasika, his nose was very, very up straight, upraised, not like bended or deformed, but it was very upraised nose he has. Tulya Karna, and his ears were also very, very Tulya means similar. His ears were equal. They were not irregular, that one is long, one is short. No. Tulya Karna, his ears were also very nicely formed and they were very similar. Subhrav, and even the eyebrows were very well shaped and very well formed. Subhrav, Su means very beautiful. Ananam, his face was also very beautiful. Kambhu Sujata Kantham, and his neck was like a kambu, like a conch shell. Sujata was very nicely built. The 3 lines on the conch shell can be seen on his neck. So it looks like we are praising Krishna. But yes, that's what even Sutta Goswami says, that he exactly like that of Lord Shri Krishna. So this way, he's praising every limb of Srila Sukadev Goswami. Somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Oh. Yes, Saudamini Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. This son of Vyasdev was only 16 years old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and the other parts of his body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully wide, and his nose and ears were highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conch.
Thank you, Mataji. So this was the beauty. Prabhupada writes, the respectable personality is described beginning with the legs. And this honored system is observed here with Sukadev Goswami. Yeah, he writes that Srila Sukadev Goswami is described here as son of Vyasdev was by his knowledge more experienced than all the sages present there, although he was only 16 years old. In continuation, his beauty, they are saying, Sutta Goswami is saying, Nigoda Jatrum Prithutunga Vakshanam Avratanabhim Valivalgudaram cha Digambaram Vaktravikirna Kesham Pralambabahum Samarotamabham. So now he's saying, they are continuing his beauty. Niguddha Jatrum. Nigudha Jatrum means his collar. Jatrum means the collarbone. That collarbone was covered. Means collarbone covered means like it was not exactly like sometimes you are so weak, especially those people who are very thin, very weak, you can exactly see the collarbone, right? See, neckline is different, which is to be seen and looks very attractive. But the collarbones, they should be covered with what? Covered with some flesh. Means it was not that you can see a bony figure kind of thing. Right? It was well covered. The collarbone was well covered, but not with dress, but with the flesh. Prithutunga Vakshanam, and his vaksha, his chest was very broad. Amvrita Nabhim, and his nabhi, his navel was whirled, means very, very deep. Vali Valgudaram cha, and his abdomen was very, very stripped, means very thin, his abdomen was. Digambaram, he was dressed in 10 directions. Vaktra Vikirna Kesham, and his hairs were Vaktra, means they were curled, and Vikirna, they were scattered, they were not properly tied up in a kind of a pony or a bun. He has a long hairs, and his hairs were curled and also were scattered over his shoulders. So basically, his collarbone was covered with flesh and also with the hairs that were falling on his shoulder. Pralamba Bahum, and his hands were pralamba, means they were elongated, touching the knees. So when you stand, you cannot touch your knees with your hands. But the Mahabhagavats, one of the characteristics of their physical body is that when they stand, their hands can touch their knees. Pralamba Bahum, elongated hands. Swamataram Abham, and his abha, his hue, or you can say his complexion, was same like that of Lord Shri Krishna. So yes, when I was saying that it looks like that we are describing the beauty of Krishna, so Sukadev Goswami is also non-different from Krishna, means he is the representative of Lord Shri Krishna. And he's saying that his abha, his hue, is also like that of Krishna, as if Krishna has appeared on the scene. Who else in Srimad Bhagavatam resembles exactly like Krishna?
Uddhava?
Mm,
Was it
Uddhav ji looks exactly like Krishna. That when he went as a messenger in Vrindavan, the normal Brajvasis, they were feeling as if Krishna has come. His hue, his effulgence, his complexion was like that. At one point, the Vrajvasis thought that Krishna has come back, but it was Uddhava who came. Somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mm.
His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully striped. His arms were long, and curly hair was strewn over his beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of body reflected that of Lord Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhataji. So, Digambaram, he was dressed up by all directions. And his hue was that of Krishna. His bodily features indicate him to be different from common men. All the signs described in connection with the bodily features of Sukhdev Goswami are uncommon symptoms, typical of great personalities according to psychonomical calculations. His bodily hue resembled that of Krishna, who is the supreme among the gods, demigods, and all the living entities. We'll continue because this will have another beautiful description, and also how, when he appeared, Parikshit Maharaj honored him. Shamam sada vipyavayongalakshmya strinam manojnanam ruchirasmitena pratyutthascha munaya swastenebhyas tatlakshana jnana pigudha varchasam. Shamam, he was blackish in color, and he has all the symptoms. Vayovanga Lakshmiya, and he has the symptoms of all the opulence of spirituality. Strinam, all the ladies, they were attractive to him. Ruchi Rasmitena, why? Because he has a very pleasant smile. And seeing such a personality walking in the assembly, Pratyutas, everybody, Te Muneha, all the sages, they immediately stood up. And from their seats, Swasena Abhyas, from their seats, everybody stood up, all the munis. Lakshanam Jnana Apiguda Varchasam. Though his splendor was also covered, but still the sages could feel that effulgence coming from the body of Srila Sukadev Goswami, that as soon as he entered, because he was in his prime youth, very, very attractive, and the features were very, very delicate, and he was emanating that hue of that of Krishna. So as soon as Srila Sukadev Goswami entered, all the sages immediately stood up from their seats, knowing him to be a great person because he was having the symptoms of all those great person. Yes, somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna. He was Jai Shri Prabhupada. He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles, he was pleasing to women. Though he tried to cover his natural glories, the great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy, and so they honored him by raising from their seats. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Lalita Mataji. The devotees of the Lord are so that they immediately recognize the Lord. Right? Similarly, even though the Mahabhagavats tried to hide himself, he was trying to hide himself, but all the sages, they understood that he is the Srila Sukadev Goswami who came, and so they honored him by rising from their seats. Sa Vishnurat Tithaya Gataya Tasmai Saparhyam Shirisha Jahara Tato Nivritta hi Adbhudastriyorphaka Mahasane Sopavishesha Pujita. So as soon as they all stood up from the seats, so how come our Maharaj Parikshit can sit? So Vishnurata. Vishnurata means one who is protected by Lord Vishnu. That is Parikshit Maharaj. He also acknowledged the presence, the coming of Srila Sukadev Goswami in that assembly. Tasmai. So what he did unto him, Saparayam Shirisha Jahara. He immediately bore down his head and offered him obeisances. Saparyam, with his entire body, means like a Dandavat Pranam, he did. He fell like a stick on the on ground, and he offered his obeisances to Srila Sukadev Goswami. Tato nivritta hi adbudha striyo arbakha. And in the previous verse, it was mentioned that how he was appearing like a madman. So all the strees, all the women and the children were surrounding him. But as soon as he entered, though they were behind him, they were surrounding him. But as soon as all the sages stood up and Parikshit Maharaj offered his Dandavat Pranam, all these women and children, they disappeared. Tato nivritta, they immediately disappeared from the scene. And Mahasane Pavisha Pujita. And Parikshit Maharaj offered him an exalted seat, and with full grace, Srila Sukadev Goswami also accepted that seat, and finally he sat down. Somebody can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Parikshit, who is also known as Vishnurata, one who is always protected by Vishnu, bowed his head to receive the chief guest, Sukadev Goswami. At that time, all the ignorant women and boys ceased following Srila Sukadev. Receiving respect from all, Sukadeva Goswami took his exalted
seat. Yeah, thank you, Nisha Mataji. So Prabhupada writes, on Sukadev Goswami's arrival at the meeting, Everyone except Srila Vyasadeva, Narada, and a few others stood up. So who didn't stand? Srila Vyasadeva and Narad Muni and few others. And Parikshit Maharaj, who was very glad to receive a great devotee of the Lord, he bowed down with all the limbs of his body, means Dandavat. Sukdev Goswami also exchanged the greetings and reception by embrace. To some rishis he embraced, to some he shook hands, to some he nodded, and to some he also bowed down. Whom he bowed down, specially before his father and Narad Muni. Thus he was offered the presidential seat at the meeting. When he was so received by the king and the sages, the street boys and the less intelligent women who were following him, they were struck with wonder and fear, and so immediately they disappeared. They retired from their frivolous activities and everything was full of gravity and calm, because now is the time for Srimad Bhagavatam to appear. I know I started 15 minutes late, so is it okay if I can continue this text 30th also? And then we'll stop. Sasamritastatra mahan mahisham brahm rishi raj rishi devarshi sangay vayorochatalam bhagavan yathendur graha arkshatara nikaira paritaha. So how Sukadev Goswami, when he took that exalted seat among the munis, how he was looking. Sa Samritis Tatra Mahan Mahishan. He was the greatest of all the rishis who were assembled. Yes, they were greater than him. Some, because to some he nodded, to some he shook hands, to some he bowed down also, like Narada and Vyasadeva. But who all were there? Mahisham, very, very great sages. Brahma Rishis were there. Raj Rishis were there. Brahma Rishis like Vasishtha Muni was there. Raj Rishis were there. Devarshi like Narad Muni was there. In all those sanghas, in all those assemblies, how Sukadev Goswami was looking. He deserved Bhagavan. Yathendur, he was looking like an Indur. He was looking like moon among graha, among all the planets, among all the riksha means all the heavenly bodies, among the tara, among the stars. So in the assembly of all the planets, stars, and all the celestial planets, he was looking like a moon. Yathendur. He was looking like a moon, and so everybody respected him. Somebody can read the translation. Yes, Vrinda Vishnu. Oh, sorry, Purna Prakash.
Correct, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, please.
Sukadeva Goswami, yes, Mataji. Sukadeva Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by the stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all.
Thank you. So many Brahma Rishis, Narada, Dev Rishi, everybody was there, and even Narada, Vyasa, and Parshuram was also there. Prashantamashinama kuntamedasam munim repo bhagavato bhupetya pranayamurdina vahita kritanjalir natva girashunayan viprichat. So now everybody, when he was looking like a moon among all, they all sat perfectly pacified. Prashantam asina. Asina means they took their seats. When Sukdev Goswami sat, everybody took their seats and they were very, very prashantam, very, very pacified. Aukuntha medasam. And even our Sukdev Goswami, when he sat, he developed that aukuntha, means he developed that without any hesitation. Atkuntha means without hesitation, because he was very, very spiritually dipped in that knowledge. He was very, very enthusiastic, you can say, without any hesitation. Why? He was ready to answer all the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, because he has studied and heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Vyasadeva, but now was the time for Sukadev Goswami to recite Srimad Bhagavatam, to deliver Srimad Bhagavatam. So to answer the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, he was also not hesitant, and he was spiritually very, very knowledgeable, and he was very enthusiastic. Munim Nripo Bhagavat Bhutepya. And therefore, our Nripa, our Maharaj Parikshit, who was a Bhagavata, who was a great Mahabhagavat devotee, he approached him. How he approached him? Pramanayama. He again bowed down to him. Murdhana Avahita. His head was properly bowed down. Kritanjali, and his hands were properly folded. And Natwa Gira, and very, very politely. Gira means the words that were coming out from the mouth of Parikshit Maharaj. They were very, very polite. Anavraprichat, and he inquired from him. So, in a very, very humble attitude, Parikshit Maharaj asked his questions to Srila Sukadeva Goswami. The same questions that he asked to other sages, he has put forward the same questions. That is, what is the duty of a common man and what is the duty of someone who is dying? So these two were the questions that were asked by Parikshit Maharaj, even to Srila Sukadeva Goswami. So what we saw, that when Sukadeva Goswami came and sat on that elevated seat which was offered to him by Parikshit Maharaj, he sat, and when he sat, all the other sages also very, very pacified. They also took their seats. And if Shukdev Goswami was very, very enthusiastic to answer all the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, because he knew that Parikshit Maharaj is in some dilemma, and he was ready, and without any hesitation, and spiritually uplifted and knowledgeable, he wants to answer the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj, who is Mahabhagavat, he also approached him in a very, very humble attitude. He bowed down, he folded his hands, and in a very polite words, he inquired from him. This is the way that we also should ask questions from our spiritual master. We should be very, very polite. Pariprashnena sevaya. We should offer some service unto our spiritual master, and then we should ask pariprashna. We should ask some questions, but those questions, first of all, they should be very submissive. They should not be challenging question just to test the knowledge of the spiritual master. That should not be the mood. And secondly, we should not think that spiritual master should know everything in this world. No, that kind of attitude is also wrong. But all the spiritual questions, yes, that can help us to grow spiritually. We should ask from a spiritual master, and that too in a very, very submissive way, in a very, very humble way, in a very, very polite way. No challenging questions. Okay? And that's what our Parikshit Maharaj is doing. Somebody can read the translation. Yes, Vrinda Vaishnavi Mataji.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The sage Sri Shukadev Goswami sat perfectly pacified, intelligent, and ready to answer any question without hesitation. The great devotee Maharaj Parikshit approached him, offered his respects by bowing before him, and politely inquired with few words and folded hands.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so inspired by these children. In purport, Prabhupada writes that how Parikshit Maharaj has now prepared for meeting his death, and within a very short time, that is just in 7 days, he knows that he will meet death and he will enter the kingdom of God. In such important cases, one is required to approach a spiritual master. There is no necessity of approaching a spiritual master unless one is in need of solving the problems of life. If we don't acknowledge that we are deceased, we are having some kind of disease, not disease that we are dead, but till the time we don't acknowledge that we are in the disease condition or we have developed some diseases, there is no point in going to doctor. So unless and until we have this understanding that yes, I have a problem in life, materially, financially, I may be very good, but I have the eternal problem to be in this world. for millions and trillions of years. And now I want to get out of it. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. These are the four basic problems, Prabhupada says, that there is no solution to it unless and until we approach a spiritual mentor, a spiritual master who can guide us and who can help us to get relief from these four kind of diseases. These are the major diseases. Rest all the diseases that we have are just temporary, belong to this world. Yes, these four diseases also belong to this world, but they are the cause of everything. So, till the time we don't have a need of solving the problems of life, one who does not know how to put questions before the spiritual master has no business seeing him. We don't go and see the spiritual master like some Bollywood star or some celebrity has come. We approach and we go to the spiritual master because pariprashnena sevaya. First, we want to render some service or we have some questions. In one sense, yes, seeing a great devotee also is very, very auspicious, very, very helpful. Darshana pavitra karo ei tumara gun. Seeing Mahabhagavat is also a great opportunity. But at the same time, when we approach a spiritual master, we should ask him some relevant spiritual questions. And the qualification of the spiritual master is perfectly manifested in the person of Sukhdev Goswami. And here both the spiritual master and the disciple, that is Sukhdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit, they both have attained perfection through the medium of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukhdev Goswami learned Bhagavatam from his father but had no chance to recite it. So now, when he was given that exalted seat, so without hesitation, he accepted it and is very, very enthusiastic to answer. Before Maharaj Parikshit, he recited the entire Srimad Bhagavatam and answered the questions of Maharaj Parikshit unhesitantly. And thus, both the master and the disciple got salvation. So it's not the hearer, even the speaker gets benefit. The inquirer also gets benefit. Those who ask questions also get benefit because these are all related to spirituality. Okay, so we'll stop here. We stopped at text 31. And from 32 onwards, Parikshit Maharaj will ask his questions. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful association. Let's see. I know Praladananda Prabhu has quoted many verses. Thank you, Prabhu. You all can take a note of it. Children reciting Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yes. They are all unsuccessful yogis, now have taken birth in the family of a devotee. Yes. How to
They're
live
real
and how to
fortune.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, how to live and how to leave. Yes, how to live. Very true. Art of living. But Prabhupada used to say our institution is art of dying, not art of living. Because living anybody can make. But how to die every moment is what Krishna consciousness teaches us. Because we don't know whether the next breath will come or not. So how to live is more important. How art of dying is more important. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yes.
Paramata. Prabhupada Maharaj always says, mold your life. He is always writing, mold your life in such a way that you don't forget Lord Shri Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam slokas, and reading Swadhyaya and all these things. If you can do little like this, it can accumulate so much at the end.
Yes. Very true.
Thank you,
And
Mata.
these words coming out from your mouth are so apt because you really walk your talk. But people like me will say, but will not walk my talk. But when personalities like you say it, you really go dive deep into shlokas and your own swadhyay. So it looks so apt, so correct, so true, so profound when it comes from your mouth. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your association. Thank you for being the part of this course. I know this is not the course that you are doing it for yourself, but just like Mahabhagavat, they travel on this earth they are the Masihas, right? To uplift others. So you have
I'm not,
also
I
joined this
don't
course
deserve
for
this.
us.
I do
you.
not deserve this praise, Mata. I
Of
just,
course you
try to
deserve.
be.
Of course you deserve. Thank you so much. Yes, Tulsi Gopi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. I just wanted to say that you were praising my younger daughter. I just wanted to clarify that she attends randomly part of the class. She's not there the whole class, but every now and then she will feel like
That's okay,
attending.
Mataji. That's perfectly okay. At least here and there, now and then she's there. I don't know about you because you are a born devotee, but I'll talk about myself that who I was when I was at your daughter's age. Totally busy in my own life. Here and there also, now and then also had no desire to hear any spiritual talks. So yes, at least she is, because of your own upbringing, you have brought her up in such a manner that she has some desire to read at least few lines of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Also, Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumar Achret Pragno Dharman Bhagavatani. So they are really following this.
Right from childhood, this has to be developed in the kids, and you are doing it nicely.
Mataji, one more thing I wanted to share. Um, and also I wanted to thank you that because you are giving this class every weeknights at such a good time that she's around and she's getting a chance to hear, and she really likes both you and Preeti Vilasini Mataji from whatever she hears. So you have inspired this in her. So I wanted to thank you. And then share just one particular thing I was a realization I had for the verse number 22 here in this chapter. Sorry, 22 or 23. I was
Share your realization.
Here it was it said that when Parikshit Maharaj heard the praises of the sages, then like you mentioned about the point that it was the true pleasure of devotees to be identified as the devotee of the Lord, not being puffed up. And that immediately in that same verse, it was mentioned that he, after like thanking them or something, here it's mentioned. So after hearing them, Maharaj Parikshit, desiring to hear the activities of the Lord Krishna, congratulated the sages. So while he acknowledged their sweet and true words, the consciousness of a pure devotee is to immediately not want to hear their own glory, but now like want to hear about the glories of the Lord. How immediately he's turning and he's asking them to discuss more about the glories of the Lord versus some conditioned soul like me. I would feel so good that someone's saying something nice about me, and I don't know if I will have that conscious immediately, okay, let's please now describe of the Lord. I would be like relishing the nectar of my own glories, and then maybe later on realize that, well, that's a trap. But I just felt how genuine and how sweet he was, that, he immediately focused that, time is less and I want to hear from all of you the glories of the Lord. So I
So
just like
true. Very true, Mataji. And I really like, as you said, that it's a trap. It's really a trap. When somebody praises you, and you have to come out of that trap immediately and start glorifying Krishna. Thank you. That's very true, Mataji. All you said is very true. Thank you. Okay, dear devotees, do we have any quick questions or any realizations? Okay, if not, then we'll end up here. I'm so sorry once again for starting little late today. Okay, so
Mataji,
let's
do you
pay.
have time for
Yeah,
one
yeah.
question?
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
And this is a very silly question, Mataji, but I thought I should ask. So, Mataji, there is no other conversation between anybody before they decided that Srila Shukadev Goswami is going to be the speaker. It seemed like everything was already arranged. Everybody knew that he's going to come and speak, because at the moment he entered the assembly, everybody bowed down and they gave him the seat. Yes.
Yes.
So that, yeah, that was one question. And
So
the
that is
second,
what it is. 1 minute, Mataji. So yes,
uh-huh.
they could foresee. All the sages, they could foresee the appearance of Srila Sukadev Goswami. And therefore, their eyes were on the path. They heard Parikshit Maharaj question, but Vishwanath Chakravarti, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that they could foresee, and therefore their eyes were on the pathway that when Sukadev Goswami will come. So they were all prepared, they were all ready. So they assembled to hear Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we have Srila Vyasadev also there, Narada Muni is there. So, you know, even the author of the Srimad Bhagavatam is waiting to hear from his son. So that was, yeah, wonderful. Mataji's second question was, it's written there that he is 16 years of age. So I thought when, and please correct this understanding, I thought that Shukadev Goswami, when he arrived, like when he was born itself, he was born as a 16-year-old. Is that okay? But he never aged after that.
I don't know about that.
The reason I'm asking was at that time Lord Krishna was there during his appearance.
No,
And
Lord Krishna was not there. How
so
come Lord Krishna is there when Sukadev Goswami appeared? Lord Krishna departed way back. Way back.
okay, so okay.
Yeah, because Krishna departed and then Pandavas ruled, and then Pandavas said that, okay, this is the time we will leave. And then Parikshit Maharaj was enthroned, and then Parikshit Maharaj ruled, and then he punished Kali. All the time that Krishna was not there. So Sukadev Goswami appeared when Krishna has already winded up his pastime.
Thank you for clarification, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But yes, did he age after that or no? Again, if I say it, it will be my mental speculation, because shastrically I don't have an answer to it. But yes, as you said, that he was, when he took birth, when he came out from the womb of his mother, he was 16, and he started immediately walking, and then Vyasadev brought him back, and then he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Vyasadev, and then he started walking on earth like a madman. But after that, he was aged or not, but that I cannot comment upon. But when he arrived in that assembly, he was Dvi Ashtavarsham. He was 16 years old.
Mataji, perhaps all should have happened in that same year, the beginning of the year.
Maybe. Again, I said
That's a
that
speculation,
whatever
Mataji,
I'll
but
say will be this simply a speculation.
yes,
I don't
yes,
have any
yes.
We
shastric
don't
evidence.
need to speculate.
Because we don't in between also hear much of the pastimes of Sukhdev Goswami. It's only that he walked into the forest, and some slokas of Bhagavatam were made to listen, and he again came back, and then he learned Bhagavatam. So all this could have taken place is only the understanding, because the same 16 is mentioned in two places.
And Mataji, I just wanted to ask a question about this. There is also some story that see, he heard he was reluctant to come out of the womb. Then Krishna assured that Maya will not come. Yeah, with that story, it becomes all the more confusing, actually.
What confusion? That's true that Shuka is actually a parrot, and he was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam when Lord Shiva was reciting, and Mother Parvati was hearing. And then the condition was actually, His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj once recited in Gopinath temple this entire pastime.
Yes,
that
Mataji, but the age becomes confusing, not the story. Meaning, if he was there, if he was in the womb and he was assured and he takes birth, right? Then has he taken birth when Krishna is there? That becomes confusing.
So it's not that Krishna directly appeared. It's Krishna who gave him the assurance to him in the womb itself that don't worry, nothing will happen. Just like
Okay,
how
okay.
Parikshit, for saving Parikshit, Krishna it took the shelter of Uttara's womb. So it's not
Okay,
that
okay.
Krishna has to be personally present. Okay, so Krishna just gave him the assurance that you can come out now and your Maya will not touch you. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I was just remembering that Kanai Krishna Prabhu answered this question of mine right at the beginning of Bhagavatam. So when I asked him that, when the Lord assured him and asked him to come and he will protect him, was it Paramatma, was it some other form, or someone appeared, or which was it, Krishna, or how did that happen? So he said that our Lord Krishna only actually, when he, like Vyasdev actually went to Dwarka or something, and he, because his wife didn't give birth for so many years, so he was really concerned. So he went to Lord Krishna and he personally asked him to come, and Lord Krishna went to Vyasdev's ashram or something, wherever his wife was, and he personally went and spoke to the child in her womb and told him to that he will be protected. Please, please obey the request of his parents and take birth. Something like that. He clarified, Kanai Krishna Prabhu. He clarified that our Lord Krishna was on the planet, and he went and he convinced him, and like that. So now I'm not sure how, like, did he take birth at in 12 years, then he left the planet immediately in few, and then in 4 years he became 16 years old, and then in those 4 years he stayed with Vyasdev and learned, and then he appeared at 16, something like
Okay, in
that.
that case, I'm not sure. If that is the case, I'm not sure that at what age he came out from the womb of his mother. Was it 12 years? Was it 14 years? Was it 16 years? And but definitely when he entered the assembly of Parikshit Maharaj, Krishna was not present.
Yeah, yes.
That is for sure, right?
Yes,
Otherwise, Parikshit Maharaj would have gone straight away to Krishna.
yes, Mataji,
And
yes.
forget about that, even the Pandavas would have not retired.
Yes, Mataji.
So again, we have to check. I'm not sure about what age he came out. Was it 12? Some says 12, some say 14. And then, as you said, that he heard 4 years. Again, it's a speculation, no Shastric evidence, but we can double check with those who are expert in the Shastras and see if we can find some answer to it.
Yes,
But if
Mataji.
Kanai Krishna Prabhu said, then maybe it's true because, of course, he's more spiritually sound than me. That, but I've never heard that Vyasadev went to Dwarka and then Krishna personally came. But maybe my understanding is wrong, so we can double check.
Okay, Mataji. If you have his contact, maybe just
Yeah,
confirm.
yeah, I do have. So let me check with him once again
Thank you so much.
and get some Shastric evidence of this so that next time when we speak, we can speak some true. Right? Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you, Indu Mataji, for bringing up that. Yes. Okay, dear devotees, we'll end up here. Let's pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय
Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki
Mataji
jai.
ki jai.
Thank you,
Thank you, Manan.
Mataji.
Dhanwad
Jai
Pranam.
Krishna Mataji.